Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Tyrant, and today we're going to be reacting to the 10 biggest freaks of nature in the NFL. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me for another reaction video. Super excited about this one. It's been one of the ones that was most highly requested on my last NFL video, which has, my last two videos have really gone so well. Thank you very much everyone for watching them. Thank you very much for commenting, letting me know some more of the rules. I've been trying to keep up with them. I've read every comment. I've tried to really understand. Some of it's still going over my head. I have a slightly better understanding of flags. Thank you very much for that. Better understanding of touchdowns. The ball's just got to cross into the plane of the end zone rather than be actually touchdown. Still not sure why it's called a touchdown, but you know, that's one of those things. But yeah, all of these things really help. I did want to address one thing. I talked about some of the catches in the last video, in the NFL's most athletic plays video, as being a bit lucky. And some people didn't like that. Some people thought I wasn't really giving the players the respect for the skill that it took to get in those positions, and I totally agree. In almost all of those plays, there was definitely athleticism, which doesn't come to everyone naturally, trust me. And you know, a whole lot of practice getting in those positions. Somebody like I know this is a football reference, soccer reference, but Gary Lineker scored most of his goals within 8 yards of the goal, and the reason for that is because of instinct and training and learning to be in the right place in the right time. There wasn't a lot of luck in those goals, despite, you know, it always seemed to fall at his feet in the right place at the right time. There's a lot of study and instinct and things that go into that, and it's exactly the same with taking those athletic plays and kind of reacting a little bit quicker than the guy, your opponent. Really part of the whole NFL experience actually is that reaction time and athleticism, the speed of the feet. That's and obviously the size of the players and the power of the hits as well have really caught my attention. But to those of you who are like, you know, this is all skill, no luck, I disagree. There's definitely some luck there. There's luck in all professional sports. Some things are more lucky than others. And like I say, some luck players make themselves by learning and studying and instinct and being in the right place at the right time. And there's definitely an element of making your own luck. So I just wanted to address that because it was one of the biggest talking points from my last video. So please, if you haven't already, go back and watch my reaction to the NFL's most athletic plays. It's a doozy. I really appreciate everybody for being a part of that video with me. But we are here today to look at the 10 biggest freaks of nature currently in the NFL. I picked this one. There is one of all time, but I wanted to kind of see a few players who are playing now and try and learn some names, and I thought this would be a really good way of doing that and kind of learning. I'm guessing there's going to be some pretty famous players in this. Let's dive into it, and here is my reaction to the 10 biggest freaks of nature currently in the NFL.
The NFL is filled with the biggest, strongest, and fastest athletes in the world. We've become desensitized to the unexplainable things these guys do every weekend. To stand out among all that, well, it takes an absolute freak of nature. If anybody on this list can't make it in football, they might have a shot to make it in Space Jam as one of the Monstars. Here are the biggest freaks of nature in the NFL today.
Okay, let's go.
George Kittle.
George
George
Kittle.
Kittle is so much more than just the NFL's best blocking tight end. He's also one of the freakiest athletes we have.
Blocking
in the
tight
NFL.
end.
He's
I'm going to have to
skilled at
learn the
everything.
positions.
Lightning quick, agile, a great receiver, a touchdown scoring machine, and he's almost impossible to bring down. He can even effortlessly jump and touch a 12-foot ceiling.
Okay, so already we're coming back, same as the athletic plays video, to the vertical being a huge thing in NFL for me. I think the fact these players can get off the ground when they're so big and so strong is so impressive. The agility, despite them being so big and so strong, is what sets them apart. So interesting. Okay.
Wow. Kittle came from tight end U, the University of Iowa, and was still overlooked by 32 teams, falling to the 5th round in the 2017 draft. At 6'4", 250, running a 4.5 40, Kittle's athleticism was on display early. In his second season, he broke the single-season tight end receiving record. The most impressive part of Kittle's record-breaking season was that he led all the players in the league with yards after the catch. He outmuscled, sped past, stiff-armed, and juked for 870 yards.
Juked? In the comments, is that like jinked, got around? What does juked mean? Is it like tricking the defense? I don't know. Let me know.
Yards after the catch. Kittle's the friend you have that's just good at everything he tries. You know, if your friend was the best tight end in the NFL, Khalil Mack.
Okay, so it's interesting how he didn't get picked up straight away. I'm guessing that obviously size isn't the be-all and end-all. I'm guessing there's some bigger guys playing. Explain to me, is college football a feeder league to the NFL? I get that impression. If I'm wrong, let me know. But if I'm right, tell me I'm great. But yeah, there must be some big guys around. But for me, the difference that makes these guys special is how quick they move, as well as being big. You've got to be able to strong arm somebody, but you've also got to be able to run past them. So, okay.
Mack has been head and shoulders athletically superior to his opponents since he played at Buffalo University. Mack's long arm rush, as both a Raider and a Bear, shows off his ridiculous length and enormous power, chucking full-grown offensive linemen off their feet as he pummels the quarterback. With one arm, Mack recycled Tristan Wirfs after he already sacked the quarterback.
I would not want to be a quarterback having this guy run at me. That's whilst trying to concentrate on whoever you're trying to throw the ball to, that's pretty terrifying.
Quarterback. Mack isn't into the finesse game. He'll just run straight through you, as he possesses the best bull rush in the NFL. On his first night with the Chicago Bears.
Bull rush? Like, I swear they're making some of these terms up now. Come on.
Mack's thirst for quarterbacks and superhuman genes put on a show on Sunday Night Football. He snatched the ball right out of Deshaun Kaiser's hands for a strip sack. The very next drive, Mack caught an incredible interception and housed it. Khalil Mack's rare brand of freak.
Look at this guy. He's taking on two guys the same size as him, still pushing through. That's insane.
Become the cornerstone of the Bears franchise, Julio Jones. Julio Jones must have been in the league for so long that people have just become accustomed to his absurd abilities. Jones isn't talked about much.
He was so happy with that. He was like, I'm out of here.
Best athletes in the NFL, when he clearly should be. It's like just because the Falcons lost the Super Bowl, we all forget the catch that Julio made.
Spoilers.
The game. You know, the one
Spoilers,
that only
man.
Julio Jones could make. Julio has been doing that since his days with Bama. At 6'3", 220 pounds, Jones is one of the most menacing receivers ever. Wow. Julio combines size with 4.39 speed, making him a matchup nightmare. He's also a walking 100-yard game.
Okay.
No, literally. He averages 96 receiving yards a game in his career. Jones' catch radius makes him Matt Ryan's best friend.
Okay, quick question, not related to this, but when are they wearing the nighttime sun visors? Why do some players have them, some players don't? Is it personal preference? You know, what's going on with the kind of the masks there in general? What does that stop? Like eye gouging and stuff? Is that what that's there for? Is it stop mosquitoes or something? I don't know. But yeah, let me know.
All you have to do is throw it near Julio's zip code, and he snags it. Julio is what happens when
I'm gonna have to cut that out.
99 percentile athlete has all the skills to go along with it. You get a first ballot Hall of Fame freak of nature, Saquon Barkley. Have you seen Saquon Barkley's quads? They're not just the size of trees.
He was doing a Dunkin' Donuts thing there. That guy does not go to Dunkin' Donuts. Look at him.
Trunks. They're the size of redwoods. You need the legs the size of Barkley to make 7 USC defenders miss on one play. In his time at Penn State, he not only became a legend on the football field, but also in the weight room, as he set the power clean record, throwing up 405 pounds, benched 225 pounds for 30 reps, and squatted 525 pounds for 5 reps. Barkley runs a 4.3
pretty impressive.
6 foot, 230 pounds.
So at 6 foot, is he one of the slightly smaller players? Like I feel like just in the clips there, I can only see so much of it, but he seems more kind of compact and nimble and trying to beat players. Whereas I want to say Mac, the guy before, was far more I'm going through you rather than around you. This guy seems a bit more nimble and a bit more like he's trying to get around.
He can stop on a dime, blow past defenders, and even bring the truck stick. But his specialty is going over.
Even bring the truck stick? Come on. Like, I appreciate that this video is not for beginners. It's for you guys to enjoy more than me. But the truck stick, bringing the truck stick, what?
Defenders. Those massive legs sprint right over tacklers as they hit Casper instead of Saquon, who speeds to the end zone. In his first season in New York, he had 2,000 scrimmage yards, a rookie record, and 15 touchdowns. But nobody talks about his second year, where he came back from a nasty high ankle sprain to have 1,400 scrimmage yards. If Saquon stays healthy, there's little to no doubt he will dominate the NFL. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is on this list for far different reasons than the others. Lamar is quite possibly one of the fastest players in the league, reportedly running a 4.3440 at Louisville back in 2017.
Okay, so one thing we're looking at here a lot more, and I guess it makes sense because of the size of the field, but all of the sprints are like super explosive. It's how quick they are over 30 or 40 yards or 50 yards. Rather than 100 yards plus.
And trying to tackle him is like trying to catch the wind. Jackson isn't a very strong player.
It makes sense because, those first 20, 25 yards, 10 yards even, is what makes a huge difference to
when it looks like he should hand it off
them scoring.
Jackson pulls the ball and slithers past opponents with ease. Jackson's running style looks like it's being played at 2 times the speed, and everyone else is on normal time. To make matters worse for Ravens opponents, Jackson has a rocket arm that is pinpoint accurate when he's set. The only comparison to Jackson is Michael Vick, but Vick was...
Okay, before we move on to Michael Vick, one more question. I've got more than one question, but this is an important question for me. Why can only the quarterback throw the ball? I appreciate that's their specialist position, but are there any trick plays or anything where they could have a second quarterback on, and therefore they don't know after the spike, is it called the spike, when it goes back to the quarterback, they don't know, like he could hand it off to another quarterback going the other way who can then throw? Or is there a rule or something that says only the quarterback can throw it? I don't think so, but why doesn't that happen more often? Is there a really obvious reason that I'm missing there?
Wasn't nearly as far along a passer at Jackson's age. In his MVP season, Lamar's abilities helped the Ravens become the greatest rushing offense in the history of football. When you put into perspective how much more prevalent running the ball was in the past, the Ravens obliterating the all-time rushing number is a testament to Lamar Jackson's absolutely freaky abilities. Tyreek Hill. You've probably heard the term track speed. Oh, he's got track speed on the football field. Well, how about gold medalist Olympic speed?
Wow, that's so quick.
Tyreek Hill has. Hill is without a doubt the fastest player in the NFL, and arguably the fastest player the league has ever seen. Appropriately nicknamed the Cheetah, Hill chucks up the deuces as he pedals past the plane of the end zone and is a nightmare for defenses all over the league. In fact, NFL teams build their entire game plan around Hill's blazing speed. There's not a
Okay, again, he looks a little bit smaller. He looks agile. He looks quick, obviously. Still a big guy, don't get me wrong. This guy is muscular and you know, very, very strong. But there are some players who are 6'4", 6'5", who just look like they can push through people. This guy looks like he's got a bit of both, but on the side of speed. Obviously, he's the quickest, as they said in the NFL. That's really cool. I'm interested to hear more about him.
Combine run to quantify his speed, but at his pro day in 2016, some
wow,
stats
look how
hand-timed
fast
him
he
at
is.
4.21 in the 40. Even when Tyrant doesn't have the ball, he's running fast.
4.21 and
40.
40.
Damian Williams touchdown run. He ran up to catch up and celebrate, clocking in at an amazing 22.81 miles an hour. You can visually see him running like everyone.
To put that into context, I think Usain Bolt was about 24 miles an hour in the 2012 Olympics when he broke the world record. So that is literally 1 mile an hour slower than Usain Bolt, the fastest man who's ever lived, which is, I mean, and he's got all the gear on. I don't know whether he's got the gear on when he's doing those tests, but I mean, once you've got all that gear on, everybody else is slower as well. So he must be absolutely lightning and terrifying to play against, because I imagine that when he's running, it's his ability to change direction and then go fast as well. You know, it's not just like, oh, he's going to run at me really fast. That's pretty terrifying in itself, but not crazy. Whereas knowing he could go in any direction and pass you and be gone, that's got to be a challenge for defenders, when they probably don't look forward to when they know that guy is going to be on the opposition team.
Everyone else is in slow motion, cruising by defenders, trying to get the ball carrier. The way Tyreek Hill just zooms past some of the world's best athletes is simply jaw-dropping. Myles Garrett.
I'm guessing that Tyreek Hill is one of those players as well, because he's got that speed, that star quality, that he's got a lot of fans. So if you're a Tyreek Hill fan, come say hi. Let me know why he is the best in the league at the moment.
Myles Garrett is the most underappreciated freak in the NFL. A man at 270 pounds should not be leaping over other men and doing windmill dunks in his spare time.
Yeah.
Garrett's explosiveness.
Is there a little bit of a crossover with some of the guys playing basketball as well? Certainly maybe a collegiate level, because we're talking about the vertical jumps and the ability to jump and catch the ball and stuff. I wonder if that sounds like there's a lot of crossovers there. Obviously, I think some of the bigger guys, like number 73 here, they're probably not so much basketball players, but I can really see the skills being transferable there. Let me know.
Is unmatched on the line of scrimmage. He's long and strong. His first step dominates.
Yeah, he looks a lot thinner than the others, but then
he's still developing as a defensive lineman. Garrett can give.
When I say he looks a bit thinner, I mean like he looks thinner in comparison to other football players, whereas to a normal human being, this guy looks like the Hulk.
By on just his pure freak athleticism alone. He has arguably the fastest get-off of any D lineman in the league, and that comes from the inhuman power that allows him to box jump while holding a pair of 40-pound dumbbells. The explosiveness of a 6'4", 270-pound man who runs a 4.4 in the 40 made him a unanimous first overall pick, and he's the last guy you'd want to meet in a dark alley. DK Metcalf.
Okay.
To show what kind of a monster DK Metcalf is, we have to start with the pre-combine pictures.
Wow.
Normal humans don't look like that. They just don't. If we look like
that's good, because I was starting to get a bit nervous there. That's what I was supposed to look like. Jesus.
Behemoth with 5% body fat. He's one of the league's fastest receivers as well. He showed it with a 4.3 40 time at the combine. DK can just outrun defenders. If his speed isn't fast enough, his 40-inch vertical leap to jump over corners
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
You can just jam him at the line. Well,
yeah.
Good luck. Metcalf's 27 reps on the bench press is more than any receiver in recent history. Quite simply,
Nice.
DK Metcalf makes you
that guy's absolutely ripped.
Maybe aliens are already here on Earth.
I know they're all ripped, but
receiver.
yeah.
When he's not running past defensive backs,
That guy
he's
is
knocking them down. Sorry, Buda Baker. Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was told before the draft he was too small to be an elite defensive lineman in the NFL. Opinions like that are why people get fired. Donald makes up for some slight size concerns by being
he's too small for anything.
And possessing the fastest feet in the NFL. He broke the 40-yard dash record for defensive tackles at a ridiculous
look at him. The power.
4.6. Yeah, you heard that right.
When you see him running forward like that, you can see the power as they are driving through. That is unbelievable.
280 pounds.
What a beast, man.
But Donald's long distance speed isn't.
Okay, I'm not accusing any of the players we've seen because, you know, it's unbelievable. Is there an issue with steroids in American football? I'm guessing they're all like tested every like 2 games or something ridiculous. But the fact that these guys get this big naturally is an unbelievable testament to their skill and their commitment, and you know, the way that their professionalism. That's the word I was looking for. I was searching for it for a few seconds there, but yeah, their professionalism to be the biggest, be the strongest. That's what I'm getting from this. It says freaks of nature, but I'm sorry, these guys worked hard for this body. It is not nature that did this. This is hard work, and you know, big respect for it.
Even as impressive as his reaction speed, he darts and cuts through blockers like a knife through butter, obliterating plays, sometimes at the handoff. The old saying, if you can't block him, read him, doesn't really work on Aaron Donald either. With the short area quickness of a running back, Donald somehow plays both sides of a read option run, changing direction if his first choice is wrong. Aaron Donald doesn't just have speed though, he has the ultimate combination of both speed and strength, considering he benches upward of 500 pounds and can lift grown men off the ground like children. Part of Donald's pure freak ability is his certifiably insane workouts. He's even been seen improving his hand speed by dodging knives. Aaron Donald is the ultimate make you take a second look player in the league, and he's definitely the most valuable defender. Derrick Henry. There's never been anyone quite like Derrick Henry. He's
that's the guy with the crown.
250-pound running back, larger than every linebacker,
look at the biceps.
Not much smaller than most linemen. Not to mention, he runs a legitimate 4.5. So a guy that towers over defenders can also run faster than them. If Henry gets 4 to 5 steps going forward, it's like trying to stop a freight train. He's almost impossible to bring to the ground.
Actually, that's a really good point. That, you know, it's all well and good saying, you might be able to stop these guys before they get going, but they get going so quick, and then they're up to speed. And once they're up to speed, stopping them is the problem, right? I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Field, and has arguably the greatest stiff arm in NFL history. Just ask Josh Norman or Earl Thomas or anybody on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Henry's freakish ability has terrorized Jacksonville since he was in high school. Once you're done with this video, go look at Derrick Henry's high school football highlight tape. Henry only gets better as the game goes on, or maybe the opposing team just gets tired of tackling.
Guy looks possessed.
Defenders don't realize just how impossibly fast Henry is until he breaks away from them, and they don't realize how strong he is until they're flying through the air. Derrick Henry defies human physiology, and for that, he's one of the NFL's biggest freaks of nature.
I can see that.
There you have it, the biggest, freakiest players in the NFL. Who's your favorite player on this list? And did we leave anybody out? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. As always, you're watching Non-Stop Sports.
Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. Just to let you know, 10 biggest freaks of nature in the NFL is a non-stop video. Thank you very much for making this content for me to react to. There will be a link to it down below this video because I respect the people who make the original content for me to react to. So thank you very much for doing that. Please go and check that video out. You guys who love the NFL out there, please give it a like. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Instant reaction to the whole video. I've got a much bigger understanding and respect again of all the things I've learned since the first video. The first video was rules. That was fine. I didn't really get it, but I understood enough of it. The second video on the most athletic plays, I was really impressed by how vertical they go, by the catches, their footwork, right? Their ability to move in any direction very quickly. But this is all about power, and not only power, but power at speed. And that is definitely something that sets the NFL apart from any other sport. You know, in soccer, there's fast soccer players out there. I don't know if they could actually match somebody like, I think it's Tyrant. You know, he'd be a very quick soccer player as well. But they wouldn't be as big. They wouldn't be in all the equipment. You know, all of these things are what make the football players especially interesting to watch, and I imagine as a fan, it's got to be so interesting when these two players on this list come up against each other. Must be really interesting to watch as a neutral as well as a fan. So thank you very much for watching my reaction. I hope it was another interesting one. If it was, please press like. I'm going to continue reacting to the NFL over the next few weeks, and that is going to culminate in me watching a full game of the Super Bowl. So let me know which one of full-length Super Bowls that are on YouTube you want me to react to. I'm going to be uploading my first feature film reaction, which is going to be 1917. I reacted to this on Armistice Day on the 11th of the 11th, and I've been editing it. It's why not so much stuff has been posted on my channel. And I'm going to be starting, as my shirt is suggesting, for the first time, I'm going to be watching Iron Man and Captain America and all of the early Marvel films. The only Marvel film that I've actually seen, unbelievably, is Ant-Man. Mostly because I thought it was going to be a horror movie. And I didn't really understand who everybody was. So I'm going to be reacting to Marvel very shortly after those videos. We're going to be starting with Iron Man and working our way through. So if you do like movie reactions, please join me for those. It's going to be awesome. Every Friday I'm going to be posting a new Marvel reaction until we get all the way through to what the current ones are with Spider-Man, or you know, I got a kind of idea of what's around, but apparently Infinity War and Endgame are supposed to be these absolute masterpieces, and I've never seen them. So I'm going to share that reaction with all of you out there. So thank you very much for joining me for the 10 biggest freaks of nature currently in the NFL. Please go over and subscribe to Nonstop, and I will be back shortly with yet another NFL reaction. Thank you very much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know how little I know about the NFL.